What inspired you to study jazz as a lifelong pursuit?
My experience with jazz initially is like that of a lot of people in my generation and subsequent generations, because jazz is no longer part of the popular conversation. It's not in the mainstream. It's not. We're not force-fed it on radio or on television. On the contrary, it's difficult to find. So most of us came to jazz through some kind of strange byway. For me, it was New Orleans when I was 15 years old in the 60s. I happened to be visiting. I had grown up listening to classical music and rock and roll died an ugly death for a while there in the early 60s. All the people that we loved either disappeared or got arrested or went into the army, and they were replaced by these white parody acts like Frankie Avalon and Fabian and all that nonsense. So I was looking for something else to replace it. Ray Charles made a record that year called Genius Plus Soul Equals Jazz, and that made me wonder what jazz was. And then I was in New Orleans, and jazz is one of the things that you did as a tourist. I was 15, so I convinced one friend I was able to find who would go with me to a jazz club. It was on a Sunday afternoon at the Orleans Hotel, and it was a band called Emmanuel Sales and his Silverleaf Ragtimers featuring George Lewis. It turned out to be quite a famous event. They went to Japan shortly after and recorded a lot of albums there. Anyway, it was thrilling for me. When it was over that afternoon, my feet didn't touch the ground for 1.5 miles when I walked away, and I just wanted to know a lot more about it. But I have to say that for me, from the very beginning, jazz had a cultural meaning, a very profound cultural meaning that I still think is applicable beyond the music itself. And that is that this was the era of the civil rights period. I came from New York. At night on the news, we were accustomed to seeing the attack dogs and the hoses and all of these atrocities perpetrated on marchers, black and white. You go to New Orleans, and the first thing I saw from the bus that pulled into this motel where we were staying were men, women, colored women. And suddenly you think, wow, this is, when you see it, it's different. You walk through New Orleans, even today you walk through New Orleans in the French Quarter, and you will see shops selling pickaninny dolls and slavery artifacts as souvenirs. But then it was really bizarre. I mean, it was the segregation still existed. And so you walk into this place at the Royal Orleans Hotel, and for the first time in my life, I see black and white adults in casual conversation, drinking, smoking cigarettes. Even in New York, I had never experienced that. So for me, from the very beginning, jazz represented a kind of enlightened social attitude as well as music. And I think when you choose an art, when you become really impassioned by it, in a way it becomes almost a second family. You choose, this family is the one you can choose. And this was the family I chose. I liked everything about the environment, the music was thrilling, and that was a pretty damn good beginning for me.